everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody is having a good day and a good evening. The blog that I'm going to be reading to you today is called Filled Up and Poured Out, and it is from August of 2018. And the synopsis is allowing God to fill me up and pour me out. This is what living loved looks like. I feel like I have spent years walking around in a desert of dry, parched relationships, and I'm finally experiencing what it feels like to have friendships that are equally satisfying. God has not only given me a cup overflowing with water to satisfy my thirst, but He has made sure that I have enough to offer my cup of refreshing water to someone else who is also in need of a thirst-quenching drink. This is the mystery of needing each other, but only being able to connect effectively by relying on God to fill us up and pour us out. I guess it's not much of a mystery, but it feels like one because I haven't experienced it consistently enough to feel like I've got it figured out. And really, if I've learned anything at all over these past few months, it's that I'm only wasting my time trying to figure it all out. It's much more satisfying to just hold up my empty cup, wait for it to be filled, and then watch what God does with what He's given me. This perspective change is directly connected to finally learning and accepting how to live loved. To know my value, my worth, my identity, and to know where the source of that truly lies. Not within me or anything I could come up with on my own. Not within anyone surrounding me that I might look to in my life. Not within what I do, what I accomplish, or any situation, good or bad, that I find myself in. My value, my worth, my identity are only found in the one who fills my cup. The one, with a capital O, who fills me up and pours me out. He has an unending supply of love, grace, kindness, and patience that He faithfully pours into my life every day. He never gets tired of pulling me up out of the ditch when I've stumbled off the path again. He never stops reaching out to gently wipe my tears as they fall down my face. He always has a fresh supply of mercy waiting for me at the start of each new day. His loving arms are always open and ready to hold me close every night to reassure me the day is over, what's done is done, and He loves me the same, no matter how I failed or how I succeeded. I am so fickle and frazzled, but He remains true and trustworthy, always loving, never failing. So He is the one I will continue to hold my cup up to. Not within me, not around me, but above me, because I know He is the only one who gives so generously. With His faithful, loving hands, He floods my cup with all of Himself, then pours me out and says, "Watch and see what I will do." So that's my blog for today. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but this is a lesson I feel like I have to keep learning over and over again. That God is the one who meets all of my needs. He's the one that I find my value, my worth, my identity, my acceptance, my validation, my approval. All of that has to come from God. Otherwise, I am just spinning my wheels, wasting my time, trying to find approval and acceptance and validation in other people, or trying to look within myself, and that's always going to come up short because, I'm never enough. I can't do anything right. Those are the kind of things that the kind of thoughts that I struggle with. I'm sure a lot of people do, but so there's not really anything within me or surrounding me that's going to fill my cup, and so it has to come from God. And so that was a lesson that I learned really early on that that I have to keep relearning almost on a daily basis, because it's very easy to think that I can fill my own cup or that I can look to other people for that, because those are tangible things and things that are visible, and we don't have to do a whole lot of trusting an unseen source. But that's part of the, surrender and acceptance process that I have learned in my recovery program, which is, even though we can't necessarily see God, we can see the effects of how He's been faithful, what He's done in the past, what He's currently doing, and know that He's trustworthy, even though it looks a little bit shaky sometimes. He's the one that is constant and steady, and is loyal and is true. Pretty much everything around us is just a shifting sand, and while there are people in our lives who are reliable, they're not going to fill us up the way that God does. So that might not be a new thought to any of you, but that was a huge lesson for me, to actually receive that and then apply it to the way I live my life every day. And so I have really tried to make that a priority over the last 2 years, and I just keep getting more opportunities to learn that lesson. So that is that's all I really had to share for today, and I hope that was encouraging or somewhat helpful to you. Tomorrow I will be back to read my blog. Let me just pull it up here. It's called Paper and Purpose, and it's just a lesson that I learned about trying to find my purpose and find what I was passionate about, and how I felt like God was speaking to me in that struggle in the very beginning, 2 years ago, in the beginning of my recovery journey. So that'll be tomorrow, and I hope everybody has a good rest of their day. And if you are struggling with anything, I keep trying to find a different way to say this, but haven't come up with that yet, so I'll just keep saying it the way that it makes sense to me. But if you're struggling with anything, I would encourage you to reach out, ask someone for help, for prayer, to talk, because whatever you are facing today, you don't have to go through it alone. So I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.